Imagine a world where the Black Death never darkened our doorstep. A world where the bubonic plague, a terror that swept across continents claiming millions of lives, remained an unknown entity. This is the alternate history we explore, a world where the Reaper never swung its scythe. The Black Death, as we know it, ravaged Europe in the 14th century, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. It reshaped societies, decimated populations, and left an indelible mark on human history. But what if it never happened? The Black Death, while a tragedy, became an unexpected catalyst for change. It upended existing social orders and paved the way for new economic realities. The sudden and dramatic decline in population led to labor shortages, challenging the foundations of feudalism. It's fascinating to ponder how different our world would be if this pivotal event had never occurred. Would we recognize the world we live in today? In a world untouched by the Black Death, the rigid hierarchy of feudalism would likely have persisted. This system, where power was concentrated in the hands of the nobility, relied on a large peasant population tied to the land. Without the plague's disruption, the social mobility that arose from labor shortages would not have occurred. The peasant class, bound by tradition and obligation, would have remained tethered to their feudal lords. The absence of the Black Death would have meant a slower rise of the merchant class. The demand for goods and services would not have surged as it did in the wake of the plague. This in turn would have delayed the growth of towns and cities, centers of commerce that fueled social and economic change. The world would be a very different place. Imagine a world where kings and queens still reigned supreme. The Industrial Revolution, a period of unprecedented technological advancement, was spurred by a confluence of factors. One such factor was the legacy of the Black Death. The plague's impact on demographics and labor structures indirectly created conditions ripe for innovation. With a smaller population, there was a greater incentive to develop labor-saving technologies. This led to inventions that would transform the world. Without the Black Death's disruptive influence, the Industrial Revolution may have been significantly postponed. The urgency to innovate would have been absent, and the feudal system, resistant to change, would have stifled progress. Imagine a world still illuminated by candlelight, where horse-drawn carriages remained the primary mode of transportation. The Black Death, for all its horrors, acted as a grim check on population growth. Without its devastating impact, the world would have faced the consequences of unchecked expansion. Resources would have become scarcer, leading to competition for land, food, and water. This struggle for survival would likely have resulted in increased conflicts and wars as societies vied for dwindling resources. Imagine a world on the brink, where overpopulation strains the planet's capacity to sustain life. The absence of the Black Death, while seemingly a blessing, would have presented a different set of challenges. These challenges would have tested humanity in ways we can only imagine.